What's up guys, Crane here from LogicLounge.com. Today I wanted to show off a piece of vintage technology, specifically a piece of vintage photography equipment. My great-grandfather passed away a couple years ago. He had some photography equipment. I inherited it. It's been sitting in a storage bin for a while and I just pulled it out and I thought it'd be something kind of nice and neat to share with you guys. So I want to introduce you to this 8mm camera. It is called the Bell & Howell 252. It is an 8mm vintage movie camera. It's not in the best of shapes, I would say, but it is in quite a good condition when you look at the overall quality. Of course, I'm no expert in this. I'm just a huge fan of old technology, seeing how far we've come, seeing what's evolved in the technology world, especially with movie cameras. So this is a 8mm camera. When I was looking around online, I could see these cameras for sale everywhere. I could see them with pictures, but what I couldn't see was this part, this 3-lens setup right here. Through my quick research, I found that it's kind of an add-on feature. I wasn't sure if this came from the manufacturer like this or if you had to send it in and pay extra to get it added on, but it's a 3-lens setup here. So it has I believe this is a telescopic lens and a wide-angle lens, which you could interchange just by pulling and swiveling like so. And then this third one that doesn't look like it has a lens in it actually is a filter holder. So you would put a filter in there. It's a small circular filter, and that filter would be part of the camera, and it would you can interchange them and add different filters for your time of day. It was kind of interesting, and all these could twist off and actually unscrew. So supposedly you can get more out here. So if I twist this off here, you can see it's just like this. You can twist it on and off, and it kind of just lives right there on the camera. I thought this was very, very neat, and I didn't see a lot of camera online that actually had this type of feature. So I thought that was kind of cool. So moving on here, I'll show you actually the inside of the camera now, which I think a lot of people would love to see how these old cameras worked. And these old cameras used film. You had to hand crank it yourself, I believe, because this was not any electricity at all. This was all hand cranking, and I'll show you the crank on the other side. So you had your roll up of film here. You would buy one from your local store, which would go onto here. It would record itself and fill up on this roll here. Then it would all rewind, and you would take it in to get developed, which was kind of neat. So you can see how the film went over the rollers like this in a fashion, which was very, very nice. So you don't have any sort of really control over the exposure. You don't have really control over anything in this camera. It's pretty much all manual. There's your viewfinder right there, and on this side you have the place for the crank, which I do have it. It just needs something to kind of bolt in there. So the crank went like this, and you would crank your film. It has an indicator here, which I'm not really sure what it is. I think it's kind of how much of the roll is left. And then I think this on the top is a light meter. I think that's what that is. I couldn't really tell from any of these places what this is, because it looks like another add-on feature. This wasn't a part, this little housing right here wasn't a part of any of the cameras that you see online. It has a light meter on top, and it's kind of fastened there, I think. Yeah, it's kind of fastened there. I don't know what the tape is for. It's quite interesting. And then on the front here is where you had, I believe, exposure controls, including your aperture, I believe, because I can't really tell what the numbers are for. As well as kind of telling what type of day it is, so you can see if it's a hazy day, a sunny day, a foggy day. It was quite interesting. And coming from a company that I know nowadays kind of sells like low-end technology, this was kind of their top-of-the-line moment in history, was this type of camera that everybody wanted to buy, everybody wanted to see. So let me zoom in here and actually show off this camera a lot closer and kind of give you the appreciation of this. It just looks really, really cool. And I just wanted to share this with you guys to see how old these cameras are. You can see it had things painted on the viewfinder up here because you wouldn't have an electronic viewfinder. You couldn't really see what was being recorded, but you had this viewfinder which was close enough to where the actual viewfinder is, which is right here, and you would be able to kind of guesstimate what you're getting in frame. It wasn't very precise. Like nowadays, it's super precise. It just wasn't the case any longer there, at least. So there you guys go. I wanted to show that off to you guys. Leave me comments, questions in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video if you guys appreciate it. Let me know if you want to see more like this. But until next time, I will see you guys in our next video.